first card we have is from Audit LA.
Tell me when. All right.
Could you clarify what items you're speaking on?
Yes, ma'am. I want to speak on public, you're not timing me, public comment. And then I want to speak on 1 and 3. I wish I could speak on 3 afterwards because I really want to hear the presentation first. And Commissioner Mitchell did request and President approved being able to speak afterwards, but I don't want to lose a minute.
So you'll have 1 minute for general public comment, and you'll have 2 minutes for the 2 items you'd like to speak on.
But I had to do it all up front, which we agreed that we could do it afterwards.
Public comment period.
Okay, well, that doesn't make sense, but we'll go with it. Good morning, commissioners. I really wish that you would get it together. How can we speak? You voted to speak after, but we have to speak before, or otherwise I'll lose a minute. Make that make sense to me, please. I'm here to also keep saying I don't like what you're doing. You spend more energy and quickly come to the rescue of your timetables to restrict free speech. But you're not as quick to help me navigate the city, especially with all the things we've been bringing to you for 6 months. It's going on, right? 6 months now. I wish you had put as much energy into fixing that, to making the city accessible, to making sure Scientology obeys the rules like everyone else. You make us abide by the rules. I know Ms. Happenstance going to interrupt me probably 10 times this morning. Okay, now Scientology at the Hollywood Boulevard location is building their winter wonderland. Do they have a permit? Is it being inspected? Because they are not following OSHA rules with either property that they're building all their holiday stuff. We're seeing massive amounts of OSHA things being not done correctly, but OSHA has to be there in the moment when it's being done. So we can catch it on video that they're breaking rules that could kill somebody, literally kill and harm somebody. But OSHA can't come because by the time they get there, it's over. They do a lot of this stuff at night and late at night. So can you guys please put as much energy as you do to restrict free speech as you do to help make the city safe? Thank you. Now I go to my agenda items. It's so confusing. Okay, for number 3, with the, I hope to God you are telling us today that you are making serious changes to these permits. Okay, the Church of Scientology gets about 1 billion permits a year to shut down the streets and sidewalks. They get LAPD and everyone else to lie and say that we don't have access to our public streets when we do. There's so much, it's just so nonsensical, it needs to stop. And I plan on keep coming here until it does stop, even though they are trying to, get people to threaten my safety and all that stuff, because they don't want to abide by the rules, but they consider us criminals for speaking up against their law breaking. So, and then on streets, improvement, they're going to be improving the streets. They have a permit to improve L. Ron Hubbard Way. They're not doing it. It's just a sham to close their street again to the people. But they are using slave labor. And you guys get confused when it comes to slave labor. Slave labor doesn't mean they're just picking people off the street to be slaves. Okay, Scientology only pays their people, their Sea Org members, $47 a week for 110 hours of work. And they have them working on our public streets for that amount of money. That is against the law. And it needs to be looked into and fixed. Thank you.
Move on to the next public comment card we have from Trump. We have for general
I wonder who that is.
items 1, 2, and 3.
So this non-agenda public comment deals with our infrastructure. Had we not had a dumb mayor, we could have spent that $500 million on homeless crisis and built new housing. And why did not that happen? Can someone explain? Can someone explain to me why that did not happen? Why are we navigating around the problem as to putting an arrow through the apple and solving this problem? Your mayor is a fucking failure, a fucking cunt, a fucking bitch, and fucking stupid. Because if I can figure it out,
Exactly, Tantrum.
why can't you? If not one of you here has a solution to
Sorry, guys, I tried to
so
get it
now
quick.
to the Scientology of this fucking shit on public right-of-ways. How dare you allow those fucking Herbert ways to get away with this way of putting shit on the sidewalk which does not belong to them? If it's on the curb, if it's at the driveway access, it's not theirs. It belongs to us, the city of Los Angeles taxpayers. You are not above the law. You can fuck children, you can fuck young adults, you can fuck them any which way you want and make them lose their mind, but I haven't lost my fucking mind. So I don't know what you're agreeing with. I know that LAPD fuck cadets. I know sheriff fuck explorers. Then we go to item number 2, street improvements. Once again, infrastructure. If you can take that $500 million and fix our fucking sidewalk and streets, this one woman who spoke before me wouldn't have to navigate into dangerous areas called pedestrian walkways or pedestrian street crossings. I'm in the same category. I'm disabled, I'm physically disabled, and like Mr. Corson, a fucking asshole like me, Armenian, I don't understand why you don't regulate this shit. Regulate this fucking problems, be problem solvers, get our fucking street improvements back to the order of which they were. Make America great. Trump, Trump, Trump. You're never gonna stop this action because I'm gonna file my complaint to DOJ, to a new Trump, to investigate your facility and not providing adequate ADA improvements in a timely manner and listen to our complaints. 42 fuck you.
We'll move on to also multiple agenda items and public comment. Greenspan,
What Tantra said.
not here. We move on to Joe Public.
Exactly what Tantra
When we
said.
speak, city attorney, public commenter has requested 2 minutes
I definitely
due to a disability.
Hey, Julian Peter. The chair can have the discretion to accommodate the representation.
Okay. We'll provide 2 minutes for general public comment.
Yeah, this is Braille guy.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much for becoming the chair. I wish also acknowledge the analyst right here, how she treated me. She treated me very well. She wants to get this big, but she's not here with that. So every time I dealt with her in a way, she's very positive. This is what I like to see.
Yes.
What I like to have in my office.
Yeah.
The issue at hand is a problem child we have called TJ Knight. This piece of garbage has been a barrier, not only for me to get my braille that the city clerk has to provide, is this individual, this person that treated the 2 individuals at the city clerk, deputy city clerks, very poorly. And that's a problem. He will not, he's supposed to be ADA, or I don't know if he or she.
Oh, thank you, guys.
There's been a request for a visually audio, have a translator for sign language, refused to do it. He is supposed to do it, and he's not doing it. The city clerk's office has been involved. And that's the problem. I have my braille, I have my credentials, I'm visually impaired, and I have to beg all the time. It's not this commission, and I don't think this commission is being the problem. I think it's your bureaucratic DEI hierarchies that have become a problem. I guarantee you, based on her classification as an analyst, definitely an analyst, she knows what victory is. You need to give someone of her stature that probably has a master's on how to move forward, that can articulate and be honest and realistic. I know we can't demand one department to another department to do stuff, we gotta figure out the workaround. Council's been very reasonable, I'm not the client, you guys are.
It's
It's
2
really-
minutes, Mr. Joe.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
Right. Ms. Cole, do we have any hands raised for multiple agenda items?
Virtually, yes.
You gave a shout out to Townsend. I mean, Tansy. She is good. She's very nice.
Caller on the line, Mona.
All right,
I will
Mona.
unmute you to speak. You have asked for general public comment and item number 3. And she wishes to speak on item number 3 at the time of that presentation.
I believe then she would have 1 minute for general public comment at this point.
Mona, are you there?
Yes, I am, thank you. I'm gonna repeat my comment from the other day. Hello again, it's me again, Mona. I'd like to talk to you about the L-Run Way, the planners, and the permits. We're gonna talk about permits here in a second. However, I want to reiterate what that gentleman just said and talked about, is that you, as a board and a city council, are equally responsible, liable, and responsible for remediating the ADA requirements, the Department of Justice requirements. And I, as a Department of Justice employee for the ADA for many years, can tell you that that is a true thing. That's a true statement. So whether it be Braille or ADA or easement compliance for accessibility, the path of travel needs to be adjusted. So you are out of ordinance with that, and you are equally liable.
That's
with
what
the
we are, Mona.
technology. Thank you. Do you want me to go on to number 3 or wait?
If you wish to, or you can,
No, we'll take the public comment for number 3 after the presentation.
okay.
Great job, Mona. And yes, you're right.
Caller
Tanja does an
number
amazing job. I appreciate Tanja.
Miriam online. You wish to speak on, let me just confirm, public comment and also item number 3. So we'll take your 1 minute now for public comment, and then at the time of item number 3, you will have the opportunity to speak at that
Yes.
time. And your 1 minute.
Yes, Tanja,
starts
you
now.
know you're very appreciated.
Miriam? Mona, are you there?
I think y'all unmuted me by mistake. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Is this Mona?
No, this is Miriam.
Okay, Miriam, I'm not on you yet. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Mona spoke already. You are, Miriam.
Hello, this is
Oh,
Mona, and
I'm
Miriam
sorry.
spoke.
Okay, thank you, Mona. Miriam,
Okay, so it is my turn then.
let me just confirm, Miriam, you're speaking on general public comment and item number 3?
Correct.
Okay, so
Do I have 2 minutes or 3 minutes?
you have 1 minute for general public comment, and then at the time that item 3 is called, you will have 1 minute for that item.
Okay, great.
I'll start your 1 minute now on general public comment.
Okay, my public comment is also regarding the permit situation on L-Run Way. I just want to preface what I'm going to say later on, is that this is actually the point of time, very important day where you can actually make a public statement about you wanting to change the current process to be actually impartial and being supervised by you, and that you will make sure that you're going to follow all the rules and the regulations also regarding Church of Scientology going on in the future, because everyone can see what is happening right now and how corrupt the system is. I have nothing else at this point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Miriam.
Caller Amy, I have you on for speaking on general public comment and item number 3.
I'd like to speak about them at the same time, if you don't mind.
Awesome, Amy.
Okay, is that fine?
The president has asked that if you're speaking on only one agenda item, you will speak at the time of that item is called. So right now,
All right, I'll say quickly about the general public comment that it's time for you to remove the planters and follow the law and go by what they've been ordered to do. I don't know what's going on with Scientology at the time, but you are not really abiding by the ADA because someone almost fell into the planters, a man that was blind, and he was almost tripping, and you're liable for something if that happens, if he gets hurt, because they were supposed to be removed, and Scientology, the cult of Scientology is not above the law. I don't know what's with you guys, why not, you're just going around, just get a dump truck and pick them up with a forklift, and be done in less than an hour. I don't know what the holdup is, you could have done it this morning, so people can have access to the easement. I yield back my time.
Thank you.
Awesome job, Amy. Yeah, we have Dick Tracy here.
Caller Devon,
Yes, they
are you still on the line?
I'm still here.
I have you down for general public comment and also item number 2 and 3. You will have 1 minute for general public comment and then an additional.
I want all, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't hear that, but that's what I said.
Okay, that's not a problem. The rules are the same. So 1 minute for general public comment and 2
If you do
additional minutes
multiple.
for the other items.
Yeah, if you do
And your
multiple,
general
if you're
public
gonna speak
comment
on more
minute
than one
starts
item,
now.
Thank
you
you.
get 3 minutes.
2024, 2075, 2024, and 2024, 2076, 2024 are the next 2 permits that are on the docket. They have been hidden. They were put in the same category as market nights, which are handled differently than a special event. And the closure begins this weekend, supposedly tonight, and each of these events are going to be 84 hours of street closures, when the events themselves will range between 4 and 16 hours on Saturday and Sunday. There is absolutely no reason or justification to close the road for that amount of time. The permits.
Your 1 minute is up.
Thank you.
Okay. You can continue.
Thank you. Items 1 and 2, it is very clear that the department that is handling not only the permits but contracts is in a problem situation. The manager, Mr. Mosey, is not providing this board contract to be renewed in a timely manner. He's not providing payments for contracts that are due in a timely manner. He's not even paying your electric bill and your power bill in a timely manner. He needs to be replaced. The permits are also not being done in a timely manner.
Oh, what's the name?
He needs to be replaced. I was looking up a contractor that was working on Scientology, making OSHA violations right and left, and I find that he's an approved contractor on one of your approval lists for tree trimmers. Now, is he a Scientology business hiring unqualified, unskilled labor? What's going on here? You guys are putting the city at great risk. Now, on the final issue regarding the permits, what you have in front of you, whatever you're reading, he interprets every sentence and every requirement except for Scientology. If a requirement applies to anybody else, it needs to apply to Scientology. I have read the entire packet. It was not available for the citizens to read, but I have read
Your
every
time is up.
policy and procedure.
Great job, Yvonne. Mr. Greenspan.
Caller Juju, are you still on the line?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, you asked to speak on general public comment in item number 3. You have 1 minute for general public comment at this time. And once item number 3 is called, you have the opportunity to speak on that item.
Okay, that's great.
Your minute starts now.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to reiterate things we've been speaking on for 6 months now, and there was a letter sent to the Church of Scientology regarding the planters being removed. They're ADA non-compliant. The rose bushes that were illegally planted on the easement. I saw a lady walking her dog the other day, and the dog leash got caught all up in the rose bush. The dog was squealing, getting poked by thorns, and it's just ridiculous. Also, the use of the permits, they're closing down the street up to 24 hours early, and taking advantage of those permits and abusing the stipulations on the permit. And this needs to stop. They've already got the street closed today for an event that doesn't start till tomorrow. And I'll end there for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are the items virtually.
Great, thank you. I'll go back to Greenspan. I have a card for general public comment, or did you want to speak on multiple agenda items as well?
General public comment and multiple items.
Which
What
items?
are the new rules now?
It's 1 minute per general public comment and then 2 minutes for multiple agenda items.
Okay, so I get all 3 minutes at once?
Correct. Or which agenda items would you like to speak on?
Just a matter of clarification, up to 3 minutes, depending on how many items you have.
Correct.
What now?
1 minute for general public comment and 1 minute per each agenda item, up to 3 minutes for multiple agenda item public comment. Sorry.
Thank you.
All right, so each item.
Okay.
All right. So Mike Greenspan, yeah, we used to be able to speak for more time. Now, we've cut down our time. You sure haven't cut down the taxes. Why is it? It's not as if these rooms are jam-packed and they're waiting down the hall like over there at the city council. You just want to rush things through. Kind of a choo-choo, railroad this through, railroad that through. I mean, at least today every member has shown up. That doesn't always happen. And as far as I'm concerned, your new policy does nothing but suck a dick like this one. I'm sick and tired of you playing games with us voters and taxpayers. We pay the same taxes, we just haven't been getting the same level of service. The taxes don't go down, just the level of service has gone down. So I just want to show my protest about it. As I walk on sidewalks, I'm always risking falling, breaking any bone in my body because of these bumps in the sidewalks. And when those trees...
Your 1 minute is up.
Okay. Now, the other thing. Now let's talk about the items. I'm still lobbying. I'm going to skip over to number 2 because the only street we got paved over there coming off Lankershim is Bose. The street that you probably need it the least. There used to be a pot shop at Bose and Lankershim. That's been closed. You go all the way down Bose, going west to Laurel Canyon, when you have Tent City, homeless encampments. There's other streets. I mean, for instance, I've been lobbying for Satakoy. All we got was filling of a pothole. That's all we got. We didn't get a repaving. There's Strather. There's all those streets. Arminta. Just take your pick. I'm lobbying more for Satakoy to be first on the list to get repaid. Now let me go skip to other things because we talked about contracts, and somebody mentioned an issue on contracts and tree trim. Because it takes me back to one of my favorite David Goldstein stories about a tree trimmer. Now this was not a contract one, folks. This was a city employee making about $85,000 a year. And guess what he did? He was a very well-read person. How do we know? Goldstein followed him. He never got out of his truck. Every side he went, he was supposed to cut a tree. He was reading his book. And we're paying him $85,000 a year. Hey, wait, he did get out of his truck one time. Well, when was that? Well, he went home to help his wife carry the groceries in. That's what we're paying for, our tree trimming. So if contractors could actually do a better job than these $85,000 a year David Goldstein story specials, I would rather they get some trees trimmed instead of just sitting there reading a book all day. That sucks a dick like this one.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 3. presentation from the Bureau of Street Services, process for special event permits and public right-of-way investigations. I hope I can get to speak over there, but says here David Rivera, Emmanuel Perez, but I see Dan Holden, so.
Emmanuel Perez, Dan is off today.
Great, thank you.
Good morning, President Corson, Vice President Chavez, and distinguished members of the board.
If I could pause you right there, just for clarification for everyone, we had some hands raised, so we'll do the presentation and then we'll take public comment. And then we'll do commissioner remarks and questions. Please proceed.
I just wanted to give an overview of our division. We're the Investigation and Enforcement Division of Street Services. We act as the enforcement arm for Public Works. We enforce regulatory activities within the division, which fall into general categories: public health and safety and community events. As right-of-way investigations, we have currently 30 district investigators, 19 assigned to day shift and 11 assigned to nights. We cover 24 maintenance districts and enforce municipal codes pertaining to violations occurring on public right-of-ways, such as illegal obstructions, illegal auto repair, and working without permits on a public right-of-way. In addition, we investigate complaints related to potential public safety issues, such as broken sidewalks, curbs, and driveway approaches. The last fiscal year, we received over 59,000 service requests, and we processed over 22,000 permits ranging from building materials to overloads to special events. And our most common service request we receive by far is obstructions. With the goal of compliance, we do have to enforce, so we issue a notice of violation to memorialize our visit to the location. Then we proceed, if we don't get compliance, we proceed with the ACE, which is an Administrative Citation Enforcement Program. And if after 3 ACEs, if we still did not receive compliance, we move on to a criminal citation referred to our city attorney. That's just a brief overview of our division. Is there any questions at this point?
Come on, guys.
We'll take the questions after public comment.
Okay. So just an overview of our permit process. We do not process First Amendment parades or processions or demonstrations, which is the process of the LAPD. We process permits related to marathons, block parties, street fairs, charitable events, and so forth. So BSS serves as a one-stop shop. So the first thing an applicant needs to do is create an account before they submit an application. Once they submit the application, all departments who have an account get notified, such as Council Office, Sanitation, DOT, and the affected departments or bureaus or divisions that are affected that need to make comments or have conditions, we'll go ahead and post those on the portal, which the applicants can notify them. And an example of that would be like DOT requests temporary signs posting. So they would go ahead to the portal and put those notes. So the city of, the standard requirements for the applicant is they need a petition requirement, which is 51% of the block or the area affected. They need to sign a hold harmless agreement and provide a $1 million insurance policy payable to the city of Los Angeles. Permit fees are usually collected up front, but due to the economic conditions of some of these events, we're really flexible on that, especially for low-income nonprofit organizations that are having events that they usually get their funds during the event and pay after. So that's just a general overview of our permit process. Do we have any questions?
Great, thank you. We'll take questions after public comment, if that's the end of your presentation. Yes, great. Ms. Cole, why don't we proceed to public comment?
Sure. Mona, you asked to speak on item number 3. Are you still there?
I am still here. Can you hear me?
I can. I'm going to start your 1 minute for item number 3.
Thank you. First off, I'd like to say that this rodeo has been going on since 1998 with L. Ron Hubbard Way, and all of the permitting and the improper permitting and enforcement that's been going on. It stopped being demonstrated against after because people kind of just gave up. So it became business as usual. They are still not in ordinance. There is still permits being given, not being followed through. Example, we've sent in many examples. I can send in more examples. It's about time
to equally enforce the permit process to the Church of Scientology, and if it's not, we will be following with suit. Thank you, I yield back my time.
Awesome
Thank
job,
you.
Lana. I think enough's enough already.
Miriam, are you still on the line? You can speak on item number 3.
Yes, I'm on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'll start your 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was also kind of, struggling to hold my mouth when I heard the word enforcement, because it seems to be very selective enforcement when it comes to these permits. I think with the amount of claims you have and how many different events are actually arranged on L. Ron Hubbard Way, and they're being documented, that there's actually a fast way to get a permit with a reduced price on L. Ron Hubbard Way. You should investigate what is going on over there, who is working in your organization, giving these leeways for permits to be given to L. Ron Hubbard Way. I think you, I don't have anything else to say, but you need to start to investigate on this. I appreciate your work, but you need to point your eyes now to L. Ron Hubbard Way. Thank you.
Thank you. Amy, you asked to speak on item number 3.
Yes, I did. I'm reiterating everything that Marion and Mona said. You need to have an auditor that comes out and make sure they're following the permit and investigating who has the inside line into your office to giving all these permits to L. Ron Hubbard Way. Especially now that we had Jessica Pomadessa months ago tried to get a First Amendment permit, and she was told by the police that she had to go through your office to get the permit. So someone's getting a runaround, someone's getting paid off in your office. You need to audit that they're actually doing the permit as per written on the permit request, and not setting up the event ahead of time and closing off public access ways and lying to the people that want to access the road, and they think they're above the law. They might as well be a country unto themselves. I don't understand. Someone's giving you guys money. You gotta get audited. You gotta see what's going on with you guys. Wow, the guy that just spoke, he's
That's your 1 minute, Amy.
Great job.
Juju, you asked to speak on item number 3.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, your 1 minute is starting.
Okay, I'm also want to speak about the abuse of these permits. We were told by one of the vendors that was set up in one of the festivals that they get a special price by going through the Church of Scientology. They get a discount. So I don't understand why that's being done or what kind of shenanigans are going on in there, but obviously something's not right. Another thing is that these permits are not being abided by. They open up to 24 hours, they close down the street up to 24 hours before the actual event. And they police the sidewalks now with armed guards. And when people try to walk through, they harass, follow, tell you keep moving, you can't stop. And they're armed. And some of them have masks on. It's ridiculous. And some of them have just a security shirt with no security company patch.
Your 1 minute is up.
Great job, guys. Great job.
That's all the colors on.
They don't want to hear it.
Thank you, Ms. Cole. That will close public comment on item number 3. Commissioners, do we have any questions or comments? President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you for your report. It's beginning to illuminate for me the processes, but I have a few questions so I can understand it a bit differently, or deeper, rather. The notice of violation process, if you could help walk me through that. Does that apply to both the permitting as well as the public right of way?
For the permitting, want to speak on specific permit?
If there's a violation of the permitting, would there be a notice of violation issued to them?
Yeah, we show the location, say just like, there's a trash site, they do not have a permit, we can just go for notice of violation if it's in the region violations, we skip that and go straight to an A citation,
Okay.
which is a monetary citation.
How many investigators do you have again?
We have a total of 30 investigators, and we have an array of duties.
And when are they entitled to carry out their enforcement duties? I mean, is it 7 days a week? Or is it Monday through
We're not
Friday?
a 24/7 operation. Both of our investigators work Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30. We have 10 investigators working, I believe, from 12 to 11. I think there are 4 10s, so they do work Monday through Sunday.
Okay. Now, if you walk me through the notice violation, how are they found? What's the general process for how they're found to be in violation?
All our work, we're reactive organizations, so when we receive a service request, the investigator for that area will be filtered to their computer, so they'll go ahead and log onto the MyLA, filter to their area, and then they'll print it out, and they'll go to each location, and if there's a violation, they'll proceed with notice violation, or they can get it done with the pre-knock on the door.
And the investigators are assigned by geography?
They call them maintenance districts, yeah, we follow street maintenance areas,
Okay.
so there's 24 in the city of LA.
And then again, how many days do they have to comply?
It depends what the issue is. If it's something that's egregious, we put it at once. But if it's something that's not too important or it's not too, it's a safety issue, maybe like something.
It's a technical violation or something?
Yeah, we could give them a week or how much is reasonable. Maybe it's a little overall vegetation, they need the gardeners coming next weekend, we'll go ahead and have them do it for a week.
And if I've been given notice of violation, do I have the right to appeal that notice?
We can go to an administrative hearing and we'll sit down, we'll bring it to the office and we'll discuss the issue.
And the administrative hearing is conducted by whom?
It's usually conducted by the investigator along with their senior investigator in the area.
And then if they don't comply, my understanding is the administrative citation is issued?
Yes.
And how is that served to them?
That's served to them either personally by hand or mailed to the property owner. And then that gets processed to the city attorney's office. We do not impose fees, the city attorney determines the fees.
Once you issue an administrative citation, then it's turned over to the city attorney's office?
Correct. And they can appeal through that process.
So at that point, it's out of your hands and it's within the city attorney's domain. And I assume they have the right to appeal from an administrative citation?
Yes, through that avenue, yeah.
And where would that appeal take place?
I'm not sure. I know there's a number that they can call on the back of the citation, but they can go ahead and set something up.
I can check with council perhaps. And then, is your understanding is then that a violation, at that point then, and it's found to be correct, that a criminal complaint is then issued?
After 3 A citations, yeah, we're successfully in compliance voluntarily, then we proceed with the city attorney filing.
And that's completely within the city attorney's control jurisdiction?
Yes.
And that's a criminal.
I can't speak for the city attorney, I don't know if it's within the same process.
Okay, so at this point, you can't answer it anymore. You're not, don't have enough information to answer those questions.
Yeah, city attorney filings maybe happen 3 or 4 times per year, it's not that often.
How many?
About 3 or 4 times a year.
I think that's fine.
Great pivot there. The city attorney may have some additional context for that.
Yes, and although I'm not involved in ACE enforcement, just wanted to point at the code, the municipal code 11.2.01 at SEC sets out the ACE program, which is managed through the criminal branch of my office, for which I'm not a part. But that code section does articulate also the appeal of an ACE citation, which you were inquiring about. So just wanted to express that for you and also for the public who's listening.
Once it's within your jurisdiction, it's basically out of the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works, would that be correct?
That's my understanding. I think those who are involved in ACE enforcement within the criminal branch of my office would be in a better position to answer. There may be still a role for the investigator as a witness as to the matter, but the enforcement and kind of the decision making at that point, it is my understanding that's handled by the handling attorneys.
Thank you. Great questions, President Pro Tem Grant. Commissioners, any other questions? Commissioner Kane.
So thank you for the report. You mentioned, just to follow up, Commissioner Grant's, the last fiscal year, the Bureau had over 59,000 service requests. Is that number include duplicates? I'm sure there are some duplicate complaints.
I'm sure maybe about 5% are probably duplicate complaints.
Okay. And then just to better understand the timeline of resolution for these service requests, what's the typical timeline that when one service request goes in and then completes?
Our current goal is 3 days to put eyes on the location and to start some sort of action.
Okay. And then what happens to the cases that are not resolved within that fiscal year? So you mentioned about 22,000 or more that's resolved last fiscal year out of the 59,000 or something like that?
No, the 22,000 were permit applications we received.
Oh, permit
That's a
applications.
separate work process for us.
Okay, okay. And then does the Bureau typically resolve all cases that you're able to resolve within fiscal year, typically?
I think for the last fiscal year, we're over 93%.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mitchell, any questions for me?
It's crazy load of stuff I used to on there. I'll interrupt the meeting afterwards.
To have an outline of the actual procedure for us to be in possession of? Or is it just best for us to go to municipal code, where can
Yeah.
we find it?
In the municipal code, Article 1.2 regards the administrative citations, and I would probably start there. I don't have a sense of what else is publicly available, maybe as to the process, although if you'd like a briefing, that can be arranged, but I would begin at the municipal code.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple questions from me. How many special event permits can one person or organization get per year?
The code doesn't stipulate the amount.
And do we measure if someone, for example, gets a special event permit and they have any other issues that they didn't comply with? Is that taken into consideration?
In the past, like, she has a Broadway, like if it's a yearly event, if they owe something from the past, we made them catch up with the previous permit.
So that is taken into consideration.
Yes.
And in terms of special event permit turnaround, what is the lead time you need to process the permit and approve it?
What we ask is 45 days from the date of the event to apply, but many times, probably the majority of the times, it's less than that. There's a lot of events that are just really cut and dry, like red carpet events are a little more simple, and you have these companies that are hired to do the process, so they're very familiar, so as soon as they apply, they already give us all the documentation needed, so it makes it easy for us. So that process will be a lot less.
And then in terms of consecutive days of permits, because I know we have them out here all the time, we have big concerts at Grand Park. How many days consecutively can one get a special event permit?
It doesn't really specify. What we do is look at the events, just like the Academy Awards are going to be a lot longer. They're going to need time to set up, maybe a week or maybe even longer to close off the streets and get the structures built, as opposed to a block party. That's a simple cul-de-sac closure.
And then when special event permits are, my last question, I promise you, when special event permits are issued, is there signage anywhere for community members who to contact in case there are issues?
I cannot speak directly. I know in some cases we require them to notify the neighbors through a letter, and we do include our contact information, and we can request that, of course, the applicant information there.
But that is generally just for the block of the closure, as you were saying.
We can stipulate that to 500 feet from the closure affected area, which which we also do for like construction-related activity closures.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Commissioners, any other questions?
Just want to clarify that the 59,000 SRs we received were only for our division, not for street services as a whole.
Understood. Okay. Seeing no other questions, I think we are done with this item. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Welcome to the city of Los Angeles. We look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you.
There's someone that said they were online and they never got called.
We had already closed public comment.
Oh, it came after?
My name is
Okay,
Reverend
thank you.
Daniel Perez, Assistant Division Manager for the Investigation Enforcement Division.
I guess you got on too late.
Thank you.
No, I'm sorry.
Ms. Cole, I believe we have cleared the desk with that item.
We have, there are no more items.
Sir, can I ask you a
Thank
quick
you
question?
very much.
Well, how come they closed the portal? Like, so there's like less transparency at this point?
All right, commissioners. it is
Because
11:01.
we're tracking the
We are adjourned
Scientology,
for today.
absolute abuse of permits. It's absolutely abusive. And the neighbors have nobody to call. We don't know who we can call. BSS has not been any bit attentive. We have been coming here since June, a bunch of us have, to try to get resolution. I believe that's why you're on, board today. But we need resolution.
This is very limited. We split the division in two.
Okay,
We put the division in two, which is public health and safety, which is, I oversee that, did the basic code violations.
okay.
And then the community events-based operations, that's under Chief David Rivera.
Okay, I met
So
him.
he's not
Okay.
here today, so
Right.
like him and my knowledge is a little limited with special events.
Okay, well, would you be,
So reach out to our external relations, that's our email. That would
okay, and this would be you guys too? Okay.
I'm in a different division, but that's our team.
I'm Audit LA, so when you see it from Audit in LA, that's me, because I have to get to the bottom of this. But now, can I ask you, you said public health, if they are putting in their permit saying that they're not going to be having any vending of food, but they are doing that regularly, is that something I would reach out to your department for, or the other one?
Vending is no longer illegal,
So they're allowed to sell food even if they're putting on their application, they're lying on their application though?
just like any vendor can set up wherever who has.
But even though they're putting it in their permit, they're not, they shouldn't be saying, yes, they're selling food? You don't know? Okay, I'll be in touch with this one. Nice to meet you too. Thank you for, Dan, thank you. I'm Joe. Thank you for answering that. Okay, guys. Yeah, they're the health, so apparently they broke it down into two areas. I'm glad I stayed. I probably missed my chance to speak at City Hall. Have a good weekend.